Fed up with the everyday grind? Tired out by the dull routine? You want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape. Escape, transcribed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You're alone in the jungle with three men. You know that one of them is a desperate criminal whom you've come to arrest, but you don't know which one. You have to find him before he can save himself by killing you.
Today, we escape from reality into the depths of a tropical jungle in a tantalizing search for a murder, as L.G. Blockman told it in his famous story, Red Wine.
The rusty little tramp freighter bumped against the rickety wharf, and I dropped from the rail onto the planking. For the first time, felt the humid heat roll out of the jungle. This was Tanjong Samar, sweltering, half forgotten, last outpost on the rubber coast of Borneo. I crossed the beach and walked up the path of crushed shells leading to a low bungalow at the edge of the jungle. The freighter would lie at the wharf for 4 hours. Plenty of time for me to get the thing over with and be back aboard when she sailed. I was expecting trouble, of course, but no real danger. I'd done jobs like this before, or at least I thought this would be the same. I thought so until I stepped up on the porch and met Herr Kurt, controller of the Tanjong Samar district.
Yeah, I'm Herr Kurt, the controller. What is it I can do for you?
My name's Paul Vernier, Mr. Kurt. I have a letter of introduction here from the Governor General. There you are.
Mr. Paul Vernier from the United States.
Yeah, the governor promised me your cooperation.
So I see. Cooperation is good, but it does not say cooperation in what?
I've come here after a killer, Mr. Kurt.
Oh? Dayaks, maybe? Headhunters?
No, this one's a civilized killer. An American wanted in San Francisco for murdering his wife. His name is Jerome Steeks.
I see. Won't you sit down, Mr. Vernier? Won't you go?
I'll bring right away.
We'll have coffee in a moment.
Oh, nice of you, but maybe I better pick this guy up first. I'd hate to miss the boat and have to lay over 5 days.
You're acquainted with this Steeks, Mr. Vernier?
No, I've never seen him.
You have photographs?
Afraid not. Nor fingerprints. Now, this happened 2 years ago. Until last month, we had it listed as a double suicide. Oh, what are you driving at, Mr. Kurt?
Simply this. There's no one in my district by the name of Steeks.
No, he wouldn't be using his own name, of course. There is an American here, though.
3 of them, Mr. Vernier. Employed as foreman on the Kota rubber plantation here at Tanjong Samar.
According to my information, Steeks came here from Batavia about 6 months ago.
They all arrived 6 months ago on the same boat. The Kota company is just going back into operation, you understand?
I see. Well, according to people who have seen him, Jerome Steeks is a man about 35 years old, of medium height, slight build, pale complexion, with black hair and mustache.
Amazing. Any one of these men might fit that description, except that all are clean-shaven and heavily tanned from the tropical sun. Furthermore, Mr. Vernier, all 3 of the men have light blonde hair. Good. Pour 2 cups, Wong. I'll have Wong bring your baggage up from the wharf, Mr. Vernier. It appears your business may take a little longer than 4 hours.
I'm certain of the information I got in Batavia. I know the man's here.
Then the problem resolved itself into a matter of identification.
Well, an hour's talk with the 3 of them ought to do that.
I doubt that, Mr. Vernier. The swarms here at Tanjong Samar are infested with fever.
Oh?
Cream. It is always hot, like now. And the jungles back there swarm with krites.
Krites?
A deadly little snake no longer in your forearm. There you are.
Thank you.
And in the rivers, there are crocodiles.
So?
Men rarely come here unless they are running away from something, trying to lose their past. I think you'll find all 3 men have manufactured stories. So, how is one to choose?
Well, sometimes a man can be identified by his personality.
Oh, and the personality of this man Steeks is, it's something out of the ordinary.
For a foreman on a rubber plantation, yes. I doubt if all three of these men can be aristocrats. And in a sense, well, that's what Steeks is, a cosmopolitan. He's lived all around the world, always associating with top society. He's a lover of fine foods and wines, speaks French and German fluently.
Oh, so?
Well, he's a gourmet, a bon vivant, a man of perfect taste in clothes and manners.
And a murderer.
Yeah, and a murderer.
Yeah, well. When just three men return this evening, I shall be most happy to introduce you to them. Though it's quite probable they are aware of your identity already. My houseboy there told me you were a detective before you stepped off the wharf.
Oh, I see. So, in other words, the murderer probably knows who I am and what I'm here for, but I haven't the slightest idea who he is.
Exactly. It's quite an interesting thought, isn't it? More coffee, Mr. Fennier? Mr. Fennier, I should like you to meet Mr. Doran.
Hiya, Mr. Veneer.
How are you?
This is Mr. Wilmerding.
Are you?
My name's Prale. Glad to meet you.
Same here, Mr. Prale.
Might as well drop the mister. We don't use it much around here. I'm Prale. That's Duran. That's Wilmerding. You're Veneer, if it's all the same to you.
Oh, sure, Prale. Why not?
Now, if you gentlemen will excuse me, I have a number of things to do. Will you bring Mr. Fennier to my bungalow for dinner? We'll celebrate having a guest in Tanjong Samar. Yeah?
Sure.
So see you in a minute.
Herr Kurt tells me all three of you are Americans.
I don't know whether I'm still one or not. Haven't been to the States in 7 years.
Oh, 7 years, huh? And you're an old-timer here, Duran.
No, not here. Australia.
Don't get him started, Vernier. He'll spend 2 hours telling you how he lost his shirt trying to raise sheep down there.
If I had either money or sense, I wouldn't have come to this stinking hole.
Oh, I wouldn't say you fellas had it too rough. I've been noticing those empty bottles there on the shelf.
What do you mean, Veneer?
Paul Masson, 1936. That's good champagne.
Hmm?
You boys are living like connoisseurs.
Oh, no, you're overrating us, Vernier. Those empty bottles were already here when we came.
Oh?
Just never got around to throwing them out.
Prale here's the only connoisseur in the bunch. He can tell you anything you want to know about wines.
Yeah, or about anything.
Dry up. Just because a guy happens to know a little more than somebody else, there's no reason to keep riding them all the time.
We sure knew some way to make ice. Getting plenty fed up with warm beer day in and day out.
Yeah, that would get pretty tiresome. I think I'd switch to Chambertin or Chablis or something.
Come again?
Well, I didn't necessarily mean those in particular, but there are quite a number of wines that are even better warm than they are chilled.
No, you're in the wrong place, chum. We wouldn't know what to do with them if we had them. This is strictly a beer and gin crowd.
Well, there'd be no kick on that if we had some ice to go with it. Boy, what I wouldn't give for a cold, frosty bottle.
Oh, relax, will you, Wilmerding? You're making me thirsty. How about some music?
Music? Does one of you play some instrument?
Sure, Prale. He's terrific on that phonograph over there in the corner.
Oh.
Only trouble is he thinks 3 o'clock in the morning is the greatest song ever written.
Well, I can see that would lead to quite an argument, Doran. Particularly if you're a lover of the classics.
Oh, no. I don't go for that long hair stuff.
Oh.
But I would like to hear a fast number once in a while that's less than 10 years old.
Yeah, you ought to see this collection Prale dragged up here from Batavia. Strictly from the gay 90s.
Prale, you don't by any chance have a number called Il y a un métier dans cette maison?
Yeah, some Italian opera.
Oh, no, it's French.
Well, come on, Prale. Translate it for us. You claim to be an expert on the French language.
Oh, it's worded kind of funny, like poetry.
Ah, sure.
Yeah, the last word, though, maison, that means house. I know that.
Well, that's too bad. I thought maybe Jerome Steeks might translate it. It
Who?
refers to him, of course.
Steak.
What are you talking about?
Who's
The
Steak?
sentence reads, there is a murderer in this house.
Huh?
Well, so you're finally coming out in the open, huh?
Yeah. We heard you were a detective, Vernier.
You're after some killer you've never seen named Steeks. You figure one of us is it.
That's right, Prale.
And the guy you're after is Wilmerding.
Are you crazy?
Who ever heard of anybody with a name like Wilmerding unless they made it up?
Made up nothing. I got a passport to prove it. What are you trying to do, Prale? turn attention away from yourself.
Look, I got nothing to hide. It's either you or Duran.
You can leave me out of this right now. There's plenty of people in Australia who can tell you who I am.
Unfortunately, though, there's nobody in Tanjong Samar who can tell me for certain who any of you are. One of you is a murderer, and by the time the boat gets back here, I'll know which one. Either I'm going to take Jerome Steeks back to San Francisco, or I'm going to kill him trying to. You can count on it. Well, what do you say we go on over to Kurt's bungalow and have dinner,
That's Wilmerding's room there. Durant sleeps here. And Prelon down at the end.
I see.
And this is the guest room.
Oh,
At least the only guest room that's usable at present.
well, looks all right.
Well, it's yours for the time you're here, Mr. Veneer.
Oh, do all of these rooms open out onto the porch?
Yes, the veranda, as we call it here.
And there's no way to lock this door?
Unfortunately, no. Anyway, the windows are covered only by mosquito netting. It makes another interesting situation, does it not?
Yeah, I suppose interesting is the word for it.
Most likely all these gentlemen are acting to a greater or lesser extent, which of course makes your problem exceedingly difficult.
Yeah, that's right. Mr. Kurt, you did say a man rarely came here unless he wanted to lose his past. And yet, you're here.
Yeah, and it is true. But then, I'm only a servant of the government and have little choice where I'm there, no? Well, good night, Mr. Veneer.
Good night, Mr. Kurt.
I trust you'll have a very comfortable night.
Thank you. I sat there for a long time after Kurt left, trying to figure things out, getting nowhere. This was Borneo, and though the Coleman lantern on the table at my elbow threw a blaze of white light into every corner of the room, outside that light lay the dark veranda, and beyond that, the jungle. Gradually, the night breeze brought the smell of the jungle into the room, as rich and as exotic as the scent of taboo, fragrant as midnight orchid, as disturbing as the scent of danger. Or maybe it was danger itself I was smelling. A heavy knife missed my throat by 2 inches, thudded into the bamboo partition, and stuck there, quivering. I doused the lantern in one sweep, dropped down on the floor, and slid my .38 out of its holster. I could hear nothing but the rustle of palm thatch along the eaves, low creaks from the pilings underneath the bungalow, and the soft night sounds from the jungle. Finally, I slipped my shoes off, pulled the knife out of the wall, and dropped it in my pocket, moved to the door, and stepped quietly out onto the veranda. It was empty. Across the railing, the fringe of undergrowth was dappled in silver moonlight. Nothing moved. I paused quickly at the 3 doors, and from each heard the sound of snoring. One of the men was faking, but which one? I'd reached the end of the porch when my eye caught a slight movement in the banana clump a few yards from the steps. Someone was hiding there. I moved swiftly, holding the gun ready. Came within a few feet before I could make out a shape in a red and white sarong, complete with dark, tumbled curls and a flower behind one ear. It was a girl.
Please, Tuan, the gun. You are going to shoot me?
Oh, no, relax, honey. I was looking for somebody else.
Oh. And now you have found Nelana, so you are disappointed?
Well, Look, did you see anybody moving around up there on the veranda a while ago?
Only you, Tuan. I became frightened and ran to hide.
Frightened? Why?
I should not be here. At night, I mean. Oh, let us talk of something else, huh?
All right, Nelana.
Tuan, do you like Nelana, perhaps?
Definitely.
Why do we not go somewhere else? Along the beach, perhaps? You would like that?
Mr.
Well,
Veneer is too serious-minded for such things, Nella.
Oh, Mynheer.
Well, Mr. Kurt, join us, won't you?
Thank you. Nelana, go to the bungalow at once.
Yes, Mynheer. Yes, I go. I go immediately.
She has no business being out alone at night. But, Mr. Veneer, is something wrong with your room? It's not comfortable?
It was until this flew in through the window.
A knife?
Yeah, a throwing knife. Ever see it before?
Oh, yeah. It's one of the collections there in the bungalow. The three Americans throw them at targets every evening and wager on the results. I believe Mr. Doran taught the other two.
What about you, Mr. Kurt? Do you ever bet with them?
It would be too easy. Watch.
Oh.
I learned to throw a knife in Java many years ago.
And Nalana, I suppose she's an expert at it, too.
Nalana knows nothing of knives. Her greatest accomplishment is that of making friends too easily.
I see. Just who is she, anyway? Does she live here?
Yeah, she lives here. She is my wife.
Your wife?
Exactly. My wife. Good night, Mr. Vernier.
In just a moment, we will return to Escape. But first, coming to you in succession, Spike Jones, Jack Benny, and Amos and Andy bring you 90 non-stop minutes of superlative joy every Sunday night when you hear them among CBS's 10 great Sunday night shows. The Spike Jones Show and Amos and Andy are heard over most of these same CBS stations, and Jack Benny comes to you over them all. And now, with our star, Jeff Chandler, we return to the second act of Escape and Red Wine.
When I finally turned in that night, I didn't make the mistake of lighting the lantern again. Being a target once in an evening was enough. I undressed in the dark, pushed the bed up to block the door, propped a chair against the windowsill, and lay down on the floor. I kept trying to fit some theory together to account for the things that had happened. When I drifted off to sleep, I was no nearer any answer than before. I woke up with the first light of dawn. For a full minute, was ready to predict a peaceful day. And then I turned my head slightly and saw it. On the floor, against the wall, 18 inches from my left hand, its eyes open and unmoving, lay a krite, first cousin to the cobra, the deadliest snake in Borneo. Cold sweat broke out on my forehead, ran into the corners of my eyes. Not daring to make any sudden move, I slid my right hand slowly up behind me and found my gun under the pillow. The snake moved slightly. I froze for one long minute. Carefully, I brought the gun over until I had the ugly head centered above the foresight. Then...
What the comfort is $10,000? Who fired that shot?
I did, Kurt, in here.
Hey, Kurt, what's all the shooting about?
Find out now, Duran. Mr. Vernier. All right.
Oh, sure, Kurt. Come on in. I had an early morning visitor there on the floor.
God, a krite. Did he bite you?
No, he
What
didn't.
the devil's all the racket about? Ah, snake. That's funny.
What's funny, Duran?
A krite, Wilmerding. Just killed one here in my room.
Well, there's plenty of them around, but I never heard of one crawling into a room before.
I'm not sure it did crawl in.
What do you mean?
I've got an idea it may have been dropped in through the mosquito netting there at the window.
Yeah? By whom?
By a guy named Jerome Steeks. Ever hear of him, Duran?
Why don't you pick up Wilma Ding? He's your man.
Oh, sure. I always carry a couple of snakes around in my pocket just for luck.
What I want to know is who carries this around in their pocket for luck.
That's one of our knives in the living room. We throw them at a target.
Yeah, I know. Only last night I was the target.
And Prail's your boy. He's an expert. Wins every time we play.
Dry up, Duran.
Hey, listen,
You
young man.
crack like
Okay,
that,
relax, all of you.
All right.
So nobody knows anything about these accidents. They just happen. But here's a warning to whichever one of you is Steeks. The next time, you better cover yourself. I'm through being a clay pigeon. From now on, it's going to be a lot tougher. A whole lot tougher. That day passed. The next. I got exactly nowhere. Things didn't fit, didn't add up. I saw Nalana several times, but had no chance to speak to her. When Herr Kurt was with me, she'd pass without a glance, but if I was alone, she'd manage a quick, provocative smile that sent shivers down my spine. By the fourth day, the tension among us had grown almost unbearable. The steamer was due the next evening on its return trip to Batavia. I needed a break of some kind, had to have one. Well, it came at dusk when I dropped into my room to change for dinner.
Tuan.
Huh?
It is I, Nilana.
Nilana, what the devil are you doing here?
To see you, Tuan. Does that make you unhappy?
No, but I doubt if Herr Kurt would think much of the idea.
Oh, no, he must not find out. That is why I hide here and wait for you.
But he may walk in here any moment.
That is true, Tuan. It is why I cannot stay now. But I wish something to ask you.
All right, honey, shoot.
It is true that you look for a man who has killed a woman in your United States?
Yeah, that's right.
A man who now names himself by another name?
Yes, Norana, do
It
you know?
is perhaps the same one who one night threw the knife at you?
Yeah, I think so. Do you know who it is?
I saw the knife thrown, Tuan. I was outside.
Be quiet.
It is someone.
Yeah, it's Herr Kurt.
Oh.
He's going into the living room.
But he will come here when he does not find you. Oh, I am very frightened, Tuan. I must go.
Oh, no, wait. I've got to know.
No, there's no time now. Tonight, when everyone sleeps, wait by the tall palm at the edge of the clearing. I will come.
All right, I'll be there.
Nelana has done foolish things, Tuan. But tonight she will fix it all good. You come.
I waited for a long time in the shadow by the palm tree. Watched the moonlight sift down through the shaggy fronds. But 2 hours passed. She didn't come. Waiting there, though, in the jungle night, a plan began to form in my mind. A long shot, true enough, but one with possibilities. It needed luck to work, but I'd come to the point where I had to count on a little luck. At any rate, I decided to start the ball rolling the next morning, after breakfast.
Now, wait a minute, Vernier. Let's get this straight.
And I thought I put it straight enough, Durana. I said the hunt's off. I'm pulling out on that boat tonight. You can all relax.
Yeah, but 5 days ago you were so cockeyed sure it was one of us. How come the switch?
5 days ago, Wilmerding, I didn't know you guys. I was certain of the information I'd picked up in Batavia. And I'm not so certain of it now.
What changed your mind? A sweet disposition?
No, exactly the opposite, Frail. No, I doubt very much if any of you guys is who he claims to be. I wouldn't be surprised if Duran, Wilmerding, and Prale are all phony names, but that's not my business. I came here after Steeks. I've decided now I made a mistake, and that's that.
Wait a minute. Aren't you forgetting the fact that somebody tried to knock you off a couple of times?
Well, let's just say the reason for that was a side issue. Had nothing to do with Steeks.
You come in here, push us around for a week, and then decide it was all a mistake.
I'm sorry, Prale, and look, I'm going to try to make up for it this evening. I'm throwing a dinner party at Herr Kurt's bungalow before the boat leaves tonight. You're all invited.
Yeah, now that's pretty decent of you, Vernier.
I'll get some food and drinks from the captain as soon as he docks. If you're as fed up with Reistoffel and warm beer as I am, you'll be ready for a change.
Yeah. Sure is all right with me.
Well, good. And it's all settled. And I can promise you at least 2 surprise dishes. Maybe 3 if you care.
I beg your pardon, gentlemen.
Oh, Herr Kurt, come on in.
I was wondering if any of you had seen Nelana this morning.
Not me.
Well, what's wrong, Herr Kurt?
I'm rather concerned about her, Mr. Vernier. She has not been home since early last night.
I had a couple of ideas about that myself. Ideas I wished I didn't have. Anyway, as soon as the rest of the bunch went about their business, I began my own search for Nelana. I didn't know the country, and it was nearly dusk before I found her. Then I said nothing about it to anyone. But sitting at the table that night while the dinner party moved along, I was seeing everything through a haze of red. The same color as the red in the sarong wrapped around the slim figure of a beautiful girl. I kept thinking how she'd never smile anymore, how she'd never walk in the moonlight again, because somebody had cut her throat.
I know a story along the same lines. I never heard that one before.
What a dinner. Boy, after 6 months of rife stuff, I could go crazy over like this.
Yeah, when you throw one, Vernier, you really throw it. That's right.
Well, this is only the beginning.
Beginning? Where can you go from here?
Well, right now, for instance, roast pheasant. All right, Wong, bring it over.
Sure, Tuan. Right away, I bring. You like for me to put here for you to carve, Tuan?
No. I wonder if you'd mind carving it, Herr Kurt.
Not at all, Mr. Vernier. I should be happy to place it here, one.
Boy, I haven't had a roast pheasant since Australia. We used to shoot 'em all the time.
Even the smell's enough to drive you crazy.
You said it, Prale.
Oh, you haven't seen anything yet. The pheasant is the main dish, so the 2 surprises go right along with it. Wong, bring it out.
Sure, Tuan. I bring right away now.
Careful, don't drop it. There we are. Thanks. Well, there you are. It's
Hey.
Chambertin, vintage
Wine.
1911. Unquestionably the finest red wine that exists in the world today.
Holy smoke, where'd you get it?
Oh, I found out on the trip in the captain of the steamer had a few bottles. Took a lot of talking to get one out of him, but I'll open it, Wong. Have you got the glasses?
Here, Twine.
Good. Well, boys, you may go back to warm beer tomorrow, but you got the best tonight. Now, Wong, show him a second surprise.
One big bucket ice.
Ice! Real honest to gosh, cracked ice.
Boy, I haven't seen a chunk of ice for 6 months.
Oh, I thought you'd go for that one. All right, Wong, serve the wine, will you?
Here, Twine.
You know, it was pretty amazing to find 1911 Chambertin on a little tramp freighter down here in the South Pacific. The stuff's so rare, it's hard to get at any price anymore.
Maybe so, but that ice is what gets me.
Yeah. That's it, Wong. Dump plenty in mine.
Oh, Wong, stop that. What the devil are you...
What's the matter, Wilmerding?
Why... Well, what I mean is...
You mean you're well aware of the fact that ice kills the bouquet of Chambertin? Isn't that it, Steaks?
Steaks? You mean Wilbur
Yes. Once a gourmet, always a gourmet. A crook with enough sense to keep his hair dyed black for years so he could become a natural blonde if he ever had to make a getaway. But not enough sense to keep still and let me ruin a bottle of wine. Hey, easy with those hands. Don't try reaching for a gun.
Let him reach for it, Mr. Fenneal.
Kurt, no. Put down that knife.
Look out, Van He's going for his gun. Too late.
Kurt. Good Lord, Kurt, you've killed him.
I'm sorry you do not have our prisoner to take back with you, Mr. Fenneal. But I, too, found her body. I knew you had been there. I saw your footprints.
I'm sorry, Kurt. And she
had been seeing Wilmerding. I had guessed it was one of them. And apparently she found out he was Steaks.
Yeah, I know. That's what she was going to tell me, only he didn't give her a chance.
She was young, Mr. Fenneal. Foolish, perhaps. But I loved her very much.
Hey, look. He knocked over that bottle of wine. It's pouring out all over the place.
Yeah. Brother, what a mess.
Yeah, Duran. It's quite a mess. Only one thing, though. Not all of it is red wine.
Escape is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald. Today, we have presented transcribed Red Wine by L.G. Blockman, adapted for radio by Mort Lewis and Les Crutchfield, with editorial supervision by John Dunkel. Starred as Paul Vernier was Jeff Chandler, with Barry Kroger as Herr Kurt. Featured players were David Ellis, Lou Krugman, Jack Crucian, and Laurette Philbrandt. The special music was arranged and played by Ivan Ditmars. Next week,
You are flying over the lonely wastes of the Pacific, lost, torn by the fury of a typhoon, your gasoline running out, and ahead of you is an adventure so strange, so terrifying, that your mind cannot accept it.
Next week, we escape with Nelson Bond's gripping story of a fantastic conqueror's isle. Goodbye, then, until this same time next week, when once again CBS offers you Escape. Broadway is my beat, says Danny Clover, and he's proud of it. Tomorrow afternoon, over most of these same CBS stations, you'll hear the first of Danny's adventures. You'll hear how a real cop with a real purpose for running down a murderer goes about his business, backed by the world's largest police department. Listen in as Danny declares, Broadway is my beat. Now, stay tuned for 5 minutes of the latest news, to be followed by Let's Pretend, over most of these same CBS stations. This is Roy Rowan speaking for CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Fed up with the everyday grind? Tired out by the dull routine? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape. Escape, transcribed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are flying over the lonely wastes of the Pacific, lost, torn by the fury of a typhoon, your gas running out. And ahead of you is an adventure so strange, so terrifying, that your mind cannot accept it.
Today, we escape from reality with the tale of a Navy flyer who vanished from the face of the earth into a new world of the future, as Nelson Bond told it in his story, Conqueror's Isle.
You've got to believe this. It sounds utterly impossible, I know. It sounds crazy. That's why I'm here, sir. But it's the truth, and you've got to believe it. You've got to, sir. You've got to.
That's the way he started, almost as soon as I'd walked into his hospital room. He wasn't violent, you understand. There was no need for restraint. But his every action, every gesture was evidence of a psychotic condition. To be extremely charitable, battle fatigue. Well, anyway, it was an odd case. I was already acquainted, of course, with the history. Young man, graduate of Annapolis, lieutenant in the Fleet Air Arm. Excellent record, citations for bravery and so forth. And toward the end of the war, he and his bomber crew disappeared over the South China Sea. Search failed to turn them up. They were, of course, presumed to be lost. And then a month ago, almost 4 years later, Lieutenant Brady was found by a Brazilian freighter drifting helplessly and nearly dead in a tiny life raft from the airplane. Curiously enough, his position was not far from that last reported by his radio operator 4 years ago. But when he was asked where he'd been, he gave a story so fantastic, so utterly unbelievable.
It's the truth, and you've got to believe it. You've got to, sir.
At ease, Lieutenant.
I'm sorry, sir.
I'm here to consult with you as a physician, not to order your cure as a superior officer. Now, suppose we ignore the braid while you tell me about it.
Well, thank you, Doctor. Where should I begin?
Well, it's your story. You know what it is you want me to believe. The trouble began, I understand, on your last bombing mission.
Yes, that's right. That's when my troubles began. The thing's been going on for much longer than that. Years, certainly. Decades, perhaps. Somebody has got to do something, Doctor. Time is racing by, and with every passing day, they grow stronger. I've got to make people understand.
Lieutenant. Now, suppose you start at the beginning. With that unfortunate last flight.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry I got a little... Well, then it was this way. We'd finished our mission, and we were starting for home. We were over the South China Sea, between the Philippines and Indochina, roughly off Palawan. Everything was peaches and cream. The Arden Alice was purring along like a dream, and I was sitting there chewing up a pack of lifesavers, thinking how good that can of cold beer was going to taste, when the intercom crackled in my ear.
Lieutenant, Jap freighter, 10 o'clock.
Huh? Yeah, you're right. Looks like a single tramp beating up the coast. You still got a Bertha?
Yes, sir.
Okay, maybe we can have some fun. Red 4 to Mac. Red 4 to Mac.
Go ahead, Red 4.
Jap freighter, 10 o'clock.
Check.
We've still got a Bertha. How about it?
Why not? It's your party. Go ahead and good luck.
Roger and out. It was as easy as hitting a sitting duck. The long dive, the bomb release, the pull-out, the dull concussion. We laid it down her aft stack, and that Jap ship went up like a Roman candle.
Hey, nice going, Lieutenant. Right on the button.
That's one Jap we won't have to worry about anymore.
Lieutenant, we're hit.
Huh?
A piece of that Jap must have come up and hit us. We're spraying gas all over the Pacific out of the left wing tank.
Yeah, I see it now. Well, guys, get ready for a bath. We'll never make it back.
I object. It ain't Saturday night.
Never mind. I always did want to take a ride on one of them little rubber boats.
No need to worry. The Navy takes care of its own. They'll be out to get us before we have a chance to get thirsty. Red 4 to Mac. Red 4 to Mac.
Nice going, fella.
Yeah, only it was a two-way deal. We're hit, Mac, losing gas fast.
Think you can make it?
Nope. It's a salt bath for us.
Sorry, fellas. Keep your radio on. Give your last position to base before you ditch it. They'll have a rescue party out in an hour.
Wilco.
See you tonight. Good luck. Over.
Roger, out. You see, there was nothing to it. It happened every day. With ships all over the Pacific, they'd have a destroyer sitting there when we came down. But a half hour later, when our gas was down to a few cupfuls and the rest of the squadron was long out of sight, an amazing thing happened. One minute the sky was clear and cloudless. The next minute we were surrounded by thunderheads, and a typhoon burst on us.
Holy cow, Lieutenant. Where'd this come from?
I don't know, but it's a Lulu. Fasten your safety belts. There's no telling what this'll do to us. It was a granddaddy typhoon, all right, but it lasted only a few minutes. Then we got out of it as miraculously as we'd come into it. And wonder of wonders, we were directly over a small island.
Well, what do you know? Take a look at that sight for sore eyes.
Man, oh man, it looks mighty fine to me. What island is it, Lieutenant?
I don't know. I don't recognize it. And after the way we got tossed around back there, I haven't any idea of our position. We could be anywhere from the coast of China to the Philippines. Who knows?
Who cares? It's dry land.
Yeah, just in time. We're out of gas. Hey, Jack.
Yeah?
See if you can get a fix and radio our position. We're going down. We landed safely on a little strip of sandy beach. And only after we'd climbed out of the plane did we begin to have any misgivings.
What do you think, Skipper?
Well, it doesn't look like much, but...
I don't see anybody. Not a sign of life.
I got a good look from topside coming down. There weren't any houses, nothing.
Still, you can't tell. They could be Japs. Or worse.
Headhunters, maybe.
We better stick together, stay close to the plane. Shouldn't be more than a few hours.
Oh, yeah, except...
Hey, what the...
Hold it.
Hello there.
A white man.
Hey, what is this?
Keep your eyes open. It might be a trap.
But he's a white man. He speaks English and he's not armed.
No, I don't see any guns.
Just the same, watch it.
Welcome, gentlemen, welcome. We saw you land, so I hurried out to see if I could be of any assistance. May I introduce myself? I'm Dr. Grove.
I'm Lieutenant Brady, and these are my men. Radio man Kavanaugh, my gunner, Sergeant Geller.
Hi,
It's
Dr.
pleasure,
Grove.
gentlemen, pleasure. Are any of you in need of medical assistance?
No, thanks. We're all okay. Just a little surprised to find anyone here.
Well, yes, of course. That can be explained to you later. But right now, you'll be wanting food and rest.
Hey, now, a little chow wouldn't be bad.
But first, we have to get in touch with our base. Give them our position.
Oh, of course, but such things take some time in these primitive areas.
Oh, we have a radio on the plane.
Did have, Skipper.
What?
I was just starting to tell you. It went out just before we sighted the island. Must have got wanged up in that storm.
Well, can you fix it?
Well, I suppose so, if it's nothing serious. I'll tell you better after I have a chance to look at it.
Of course, but in the meantime, I hope you'll accept our humble hospitality. We don't have the pleasure of entertaining new guests here often. It'll be good to chat with you all. If you'll follow me, please.
How about it, Skipper?
Sure. Why not? After the last half hour, we could all use a little relaxation.
Very good. Right this way, please.
I should have smelled it right then. There was something strange about the whole thing. There were a lot of questions in my mind, but somehow I didn't ask them. Instead, we walked down the jungle path behind Dr. Grove, like lambs to the slaughter. Tom Geller must have had the same misgivings because he whispered in my ear.
I don't get it, Skipper.
Don't get what, Tom?
Where do these guys come from? Where do they hang out? When we were coming in, I made sure to take a good look at this island. There were no houses, no nothing.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah. Hey, stop it. Holy cow, will you look at that?
Dr. Grove stopped in front of what looked like a big rock. And then we saw it was expertly camouflaged cement with a sliding door.
There. Here we are, gentlemen. If you'll be good enough to enter.
Enter what? That?
Don't be alarmed. It's only an elevator.
An elevator? In this jungle? Now, what kind of monkey business is this, anyhow? Do you mean to tell me you live underground?
My dear Lieutenant, I'll be glad to explain everything later. It's all very simple. But first, I must insist that you enter the shaft.
So now you're insisting. And suppose we prefer not to step into your elevator, then what?
Then I should be compelled, most regretfully, to enforce my request.
Guess again, pal. We happen to be armed. A gun, 3 guns. See, that's one detail you overlooked.
I overlooked no details, Lieutenant. Would you be kind enough to fire your gun?
Watch yourself, Skip. It's a trick. He wants you to shoot. The sound will bring help.
Wrong, my friend. I need no help. Very well. If you won't accept my invitation...
Wait a minute. Keep your hand out of your pocket.
Perhaps you would care to stop me, Lieutenant?
Okay, if you asked for it.
Hey, Lieutenant.
Try again, Lieutenant, but your gun will not work
Skipper,
on
he's
this
right.
island.
Mine
Neither
won't
will
work
mine.
either.
And now, perhaps you'll be kind enough to step into the shaft?
Look, I don't know what's going on here, but I don't want any part of it.
Yeah, neither do I.
Come on, gang. Let's get out of here.
Just a minute. I'm sorry. You forced me to use harsh measures. Believe me, I do so reluctantly.
What's that you've got there?
Just a small tube, but a very potent weapon, I must warn you.
Yeah? Well, then you better use it fast. I made a desperate lunge for him, and suddenly... a tiny shaft of light flicked out from the tube and touched me. And I stopped, frozen in my tracks. Conscious, my eyes open, seeing him, hearing him. But try as I would, I could not move a muscle. I was as if turned to stone.
In just a moment, we will return to Escape. But first, both Gangbusters and The Adventures of Philip Marlowe are regular Saturday night features on most of these same CBS network stations. So be listening tonight when they bring you an exceptional, fast-moving, gripping hour of mystery. And now, with our stars, David Ellis, Ted Von Eltz, and Bill Johnstone, we return to the second act of Escape and Conqueror's Isle.
I was paralyzed, Dr. Gorham. Completely paralyzed. As if turned to stone. I had all my senses. I could see and hear and feel, but I couldn't move a muscle, not even turn my eyes.
And you say this happened because of some kind of light beam?
Well, not exactly a beam, sir. Perhaps not exactly light. Just a kind of radiance.
A gas, perhaps?
No, because it had no form, no odor, no taste. It was like becoming enmeshed in a web of moonbeams.
I see. And its only effect on you was to immobilize you.
Yes, that's right. It didn't burn or sting or cause pain in any way. I simply couldn't move. It was like a hypnotic trance.
And then?
Well, then some of Dr. Grove's companions came out of the elevator. They picked us up and carried us. I could feel their hands very softly, as if they were far away from my body, as if there were layers of rubber between them and me. But I could hear Dr. Grove talking.
Place him in the shaft. Gently, please.
I could see him bending over me into my line of vision.
I'm sorry, Lieutenant. I sincerely regret having to inconvenience you. But you see, just as we have the means of hampering your primitive mechanical devices, your guns, your radio, so do we have the means to enforce our requests. Requests which are, I assure you, only reasonable and necessary under the circumstances. Very well. Take us down.
My head was reeling, and fear was growing in me. Who were these men to talk of radio as a primitive device? What kind of men were they? Where were they taking the three of us, and what were they going to do with us? As if he'd read my thoughts, Dr. Grove leaned over me again.
There's no need to be alarmed, Lieutenant. No need at all. All right. Gently. Carry them gently.
Well, Fraser?
I'm sorry, Frater Dorden. It was necessary. They would not come willingly.
I see. Yeah, a few of them do. Well, put them in the sleeping chambers until they recover. And be gentle. They are so frightened. Poor things.
Poor things. Poor things, he'd said. Not as if we were human beings at all, but animals. Some weak, dumb animals with whom they must be gentle. It was then that I began to know real fear. We were in a great underground city, but I could see little of it. Nothing except what passed in front of my rigid eyes. Then I was carried into a room, deposited upon a soft couch, and left alone. I could not close my eyes, but gradually the light began to fade, to melt away. I was in deep blackness. and I slept. I don't know whether the return of the light awakened me, or whether it came on automatically when I woke up. But the room was bright, and I could move again. I jumped up, tried the door, but of course it was locked, and there was no other way of escape. The room was a small cell with metal walls and ceiling, a kind of metal I'd never seen before. There was a cot, a desk, and a chair, and nothing else. But the really amazing thing was the light. I searched the entire room carefully, but there were no fixtures, no indirect lighting arrangements. The light came out of the walls, evenly filling the room, casting no shadows. Suddenly, I wanted to see Kavanaugh and Geller. I yelled at the top of my lungs. But there was almost no sound, no echo from the walls. They simply absorbed the sound into utter silence. Then, as I stood there, with fear cold in my stomach, I heard a faint sound, a footstep behind me. I whirled around just in time to see Dr. Grove stepping through the wall.
You said through the wall, Lieutenant. Of course you mean through the door.
Through the wall. Through the wall, sir. The door was in front of me, but Dr. Grove stepped into my cell through the solid metal wall.
You realize that what you're saying is impossible.
To us it is. To them, nothing is impossible. Nothing. That's why we must act, and act now before it's too late. You must believe me, sir. This is man's last chance.
I'll do my best. Perhaps you'd better continue. Now, this Dr. Grove stepped through the wall.
Yes. As I'll tell the rest as quickly as I can. I can see that you don't believe me. But someone must, somewhere, sometime, someone must.
Lieutenant!
Well, as I said, Dr. Grove stepped into my cell through the wall. Suddenly, my panic ended. I looked at him now with awe. And we talked, not as man to man, but as man to a lesser creature. Me.
You must not be frightened, Lieutenant. You do not understand how I passed through a wall which to you seemed solid. And not understanding, you feared.
But
Yet there is nothing supernatural or fearful about what I did. Any of us can do it at will. You see, there is no such thing as a solid in this world of relativity. We know that there is plenty of room for the molecules of our bodies to pass between the molecules of those walls. We simply make a necessary mental adjustment and walk where we will. It is an ability as basic to us as breathing to a person like you.
What kind of men are you?
You have been educated, studied Darwin. You know the facts of evolution. You know how man has progressed through various stages from the primitive savagery of the Neanderthal man.
Well, yes,
Obviously, this process can and will continue. To suppose that the evolution of man is complete with you is a mistake of conceit.
You mean you are the next stage?
Exactly. You have heard of the process of mutation, perhaps. How suddenly a white rose is produced of a family of red roses, and from then on produces only white descendants?
Yes.
So have we been evolved as mutants, infinitely superior to our parents and our fellow men, knowing by instinct right from birth what you must study years to learn, your most difficult physics and mathematics, our ABCs, our studies far beyond your understanding.
Are there many of you?
Yes. You see, the process has been going on for many years. Hundreds, thousands more come to us every year from all over the world, drawn here by telepathic message, where we have isolation to study, learn, build, prepare ourselves.
Prepare? Prepare for what?
For the task ahead. Obviously, when we are ready, when we are numerous enough to fill all the necessary positions, our superior intelligence must shape a new world.
Take over the world?
Obviously.
And you will destroy man?
How little you understand us. Do you destroy the animals of the field because they are not your intellectual peers? Our obligation is to keep and protect you, to act as your friendly guardians in a world which will be strange to you and frightening, as my walking through the wall was frightening to you.
I see. Yes, I see. Then what is your plan?
Rather say, nature's plan. And the answer to that lies in history. What became of the anthropoids, the cavemen?
They died out. Civilization passed them by. They fell before the onrush of higher forms of life.
Even so. Even so. But I give you our pledge that we will be kind. We will be kind.
And then he took me out into that great underground city, through its corridors and great halls and laboratories and shops. Took me among the thousands of his fellow men. There I saw marvels of which I could talk for hours. There were... But they would be beyond your comprehension as they were beyond mine. You wouldn't believe me, and so I won't bother to tell you. Then I met others like us, some 200 captive cattle, people who had stumbled onto this island as I had. There were famous names among them. A famous author whose ship disappeared in the Pacific years ago. A big game hunter. A famous aviatrix for whom a dozen fleets had sought in vain. All of us, prisoners. We were treated with great kindness, made comfortable, relatively happy. We were their pets, you see. Their dumb animal pets. For over 3 years I stayed there. After a while I ceased to struggle. Even in my mind, I was defeated. And so I succumbed to the peaceful, bucolic existence that was my fate. At least that's what I thought. Then came that last day. Dr. Grove had made me his special pet. I was allowed to follow him about at his work, to talk to him at length. And on this day, he confided in me even more than usual.
Well, Lieutenant, it has been a pleasant day.
Yes, Doctor. Am I to go now?
Not for a moment. Ah, yes, I shall miss having you with me when I'm gone.
Gone? You're going away, sir?
Yes, very soon.
But where?
Out into the world, where you once lived.
But why?
Oh, there are many, very many of us there already. In strategic places, of course. An important politician here, an industrial magnate there, a famous author whose words are gospel to his readers. I will have my place, an important one.
But I didn't know. You didn't tell me that it's already begun.
Oh, yes, definitely. The hour is close at hand.
And then, all of us, the whole world.
Lieutenant, you know us now. You know that we will be kind.
Kind. Yes, kind. Suddenly all the anger that was in me welled up. I didn't want to be a dumb animal, a pet for some superior being to be kind to. I didn't want that for my loved ones, my friends, my fellow men. That night at dinner when they fed the prisoners in a big communal hall, I got a chance to talk to Kavanaugh, my old radio man. He listened and then shrugged hopelessly.
They'll succeed, Joe. You know that.
No. Not if the world could be warned.
I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't make any difference. Besides, how could they be warned?
If somebody could get away from here.
Escape? That's impossible.
I know, that's what I thought. But listen, I've got an idea. There's one chink in their invincibility.
What?
Their gentleness, their kindness. They can't bear to hurt anyone. None of their weapons kill, but only paralyze temporarily. And they simply cannot conceive of treachery.
What are you driving at?
This. I'm going to play on Dr. Grove's liking for me, his kindness. And I'm going to trick him.
How?
Tomorrow I'll ask him to take me up above, back to the plane, to get pictures of my father and sister. Tell him I'm lonesome, suffering. He'll do it. I'm sure he will. It's very kind of you, Dr. Grove, to do this for me.
Oh, not at all, Lieutenant. I understand your feeling.
With you leaving, I'd have no one close. The pictures will make me feel a lot better.
Oh, I only hope they're still here. The plane is partially demolished by the weather, as you can see.
Oh, they'll be there. They were in the map compartment. They'd be out of the weather.
Well, Here we are.
Dr. Grove, look, over there.
Well,
Sorry, Doctor, but I had to do it. I hope I didn't kill him. He had been kind, but I hit him hard. Then I broke out a life raft from the rotting plane. I was almost afraid to look at it, but it was okay, even complete with supplies, 4 years old. I ripped the valve and threw it into the water. In 5 minutes, I was out beyond the breakers. I don't know how many days or weeks it was before they picked me up, but it was a long time. And I was more dead than alive.
Yes, Lieutenant, you were in bad shape. It was a horrible experience.
But you see, it doesn't matter about me. It's the others that... You don't believe me either, do you?
Well, Lieutenant, it's been a pleasure to listen to your story. I'll make a report to my superiors. Please be patient and try not to worry.
Try not to worry.
Good day, Lieutenant.
Get out. Get out, sir.
Oh, there, Commander Gorham. You've talked to him? What's the verdict?
A clear case of persecution mania, an amazing form. I've never heard a tale more complete and logical, but
Yes, I know what you mean.
Well, do what you can for him. I'm afraid he's going to be here for a long time. Perhaps for as long as he lives. Turned loose, he might be dangerous.
That's too bad. Nice boy, too. But floating for 4 weeks on a life raft, and heaven knows what before that, it sure does things to a man. Well, Doctor, how about lunch?
No, thanks. I've got to run along. I have to turn in my report and recommendation on this case.
Oh, of course. Well, I'll see you later.
I watched the man disappear down the hall. I stood there for a moment lost in thought, seeing the face of that boy in there. It was hard to know how best to be kind to a boy like that, but I roused myself. I had much to do. So much. And if I went down through the lobby of the hospital, some fool would surely delay me, get me into a long-winded discussion, and I didn't feel a bit like talking. I wanted to get out of this place and forward my report that this Brady case was closed, that there'd be no more trouble from this source. My car was just outside on the street. There was no one in sight in the corridor, so I turned and quietly walked through the wall.
Escape is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald. Today we have presented transcribed Conqueror's Isle by Nelson Bond, adapted for radio by John Dunkel. Starred as Lieutenant Brady was David Ellis, as Dr. Gorham, Ted Von Eltz, as Dr. Grove, Bill Johnstone. Featured players were Sam Edwards and Dick Benedict. The special music was arranged and played by Ivan Ditmars. Be sure and be with us again next week at this same time, when we will bring you another great story of mystery and intrigue by one of the world's outstanding authors of high adventure, as CBS again presents Escape. Ronnie and Benita are two names that are as familiar to Jack Benny fans as Mary, Phil, Rochester, Dennis, and Don. And since Jack Benny has received thousands of letters asking that the Ronald Colemans be brought back soon, he's happy to present them as special guests on his program this Sunday. Hear the Jack Benny program on these same CBS stations tomorrow night. This is Roy Rowan speaking for CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.